Hey, everybody. Welcome to the SOS Small Business Success Podcast for salon and spa owners. Say that 3 times fast. Looking forward to chatting with you today. And as always, I appreciate anybody who listens to me or watches these sessions on YouTube. And I'll give you that information as we kind of progress through the day. So I've kind of looked at this podcast this year to be able to say, this is where your leadership journey begins. Okay. So we're in season 5 of the podcast, and I've spent a lot of time kind of designing this ecosystem path for you to be able to get to that place where it makes sense that you're then becoming this ultimate leader, right? And part of that process is because it's all I want to do right now. I just want to talk about leadership, leadership mindset, leadership strategy, leadership communications, like the umbrella. The umbrella is leadership here. So thank you for joining me. I'm your host, Bonadeo. So this ecosystem that I'm talking about here is it incorporates leadership, communication, speaking, and branding. So all 4 of those things kind of really create that leadership dialogue. And then the ecosystem, of course, is, joining me here on the podcast to be able to just kind of hear, challenges that we're faced with in our industry. And then starting next week, I'm going to be doing a Salon Owner Solutions virtual roundtable. So you could jump on Zoom or you could jump on Facebook. I'll go live on Facebook, the SOS Leadership Academy Facebook page. So jump on that and join that. 10 a.m. on Wednesdays, every first and third Wednesdays of the month. Because what I want in that space is to be able to hear what your concerns are and for other owners to dialogue together so that we can learn and share. If you want more information on leadership, of course, you can go to the Heart and Edge Leadership introductory sessions. Those happen once a month. Next one's coming up on March 23rd. If you're ready to make some commitments, the SOS Backroom Lounge, this is where owners are gathering. Case studies, we're sharing, we're focused on content that is real life day to day. That is a membership at $49 a month. And when you're ready to do it completely, all the way through, transformational, then the Ultimate Leaders certification course in emotional intelligence is where you need to go. Now, you could go there right now if you want to. You don't have to go through this ecosystem approach that I've created. But I wanted to share that with you because I've refined everything. I've pushed everything else away. This is what I'm doing now. This is the conversation I want to have. And these are the kind of conversations that I want to support you with. So today we're talking about our title is, Are You Really the Captain? And the reason why I titled it this way is because I have seen a lot of disappointing posts on these salon forums. Very, very challenging posts, and we'll get into that. But I can tell you that the challenging post is because one of these 5 anchors for success is not being implemented. 1 being sales, 2, operations, all your systems and tech, 3, education. Being able to make sure that you're staying on top of it. And I'm not just talking about technical information from our industry. I'm talking about you as an owner starting to really dive in deeper to AI, looking at other types of education that you need in order to grow your business. Of course, marketing, these are the tools and resources that feel overwhelming to us in many places. And then, of course, the final piece is mindset. Are you able to focus on what it's going to take for you to be the leader and bypass these other things that are bringing you down here? So today's anchor is mindset leadership. All right, now real conversations, real leadership about growth, navigating the challenges that are running a salon spa business. And we all know that these challenges are many. So some of the things that I saw in these forums were oh gosh, I'm burnt out. I've been in this 12 years. I'm not growing. I'm not giving myself a paycheck. I'm not even making any profit whatsoever. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know how to do this. I want to get out. I've never been so disappointed. I've never worked so hard, like all these things. And we know that it's challenging, and we know that there's a minimal profit margin specifically designed in this industry, kind of like the restaurant industry. Service industries in general don't have a high margin, but that doesn't mean you can't change that, right? So one of my favorite books, and you probably have heard me if you've been to any of my sessions before, you probably heard me talk about this, is the E-Myth. And these are the three roles in every business. First, there's the technician. They're focused on the craft and execution. They live in the present moment and they measure success by busy days and full books. Now, a majority of us that started out as stylists ended up going into salon ownership. And that's great. That's great. You started learning to become an owner, right? And that ownership that you started to learn goes into the second role, which is the manager. The manager's design is supposed to be about system, structure, process, and predictability. In other words, the more systems you have in place, the easier it is to manage the system so that you can lead the people. Unfortunately, if salons don't have system in place, then what happens is that people become unmanageable, and then we get overwhelmed and burnt out by the people. Now, we are in the people business first and the beauty business second. All right. People business first. So our team are people, our clients are people. We're in the people business. So you got to get better at people. And then, of course, the third piece here is the entrepreneur. The entrepreneur is designed to be able to be visionary, innovative, really focus in on growth opportunities, okay? Strategic growth opportunities. So if you're the technician and the manager, I'll bet you don't have a lot of time to go into that entrepreneurial piece there. So most owners live 90% in the technician field, 90%. So that means that there's a lot of owners out there that are still working at the chair or as a service provider. Then they're in their downtime, which isn't a lot because they're usually the busiest person in their business. 10% of the time they're working as a manager and 0% of the time they're working as an entrepreneur. Now, I'm going to give you guys all the benefit of the doubt that maybe it's 80, 10, and 10. Because I think we've all, after 2020, after being shut down, I think we all realized that in order to grow a business, we have to be in the business, working on the business and in the business. So it was kind of a big learning curve for us. So if your business looks like this, you're a technician and you're trying to do it, you're probably overwhelmed because the technician piece is taking a lot out of you. It's time consuming. And you're transactional. You have to fulfill. It's not like you can, set it aside or say, you know what, I'm going to work on something else at 3:00. No, you're going to work on your client at 3:00, right? And then of course the manager becomes very reactive because stuff is not systemized enough in order to make things work consistently. And then of course what it feels like is that there's really no owner or entrepreneur that is there. Now, for those of you people that might be, anytime you have employees, when you have employees, you are definitely in the entrepreneurial world because you're growing people, right? If you are a suite or an independent person, then you're a business owner. You're not necessarily an entrepreneur. I kind of say that entrepreneur is when you actually have people that are working for you and you're growing the business. There are far too many people out there that are in an entrepreneur capacity and are not growing people or their business because they're too busy being the technician or the manager in here. And of course, we know that that relates to burnout, team confusion, inconsistent results. And this is why so many salon owners say, I'm busy, but I'm not growing, right? Leadership, not ownership, is the bridge between the technician and the entrepreneur. Without leadership development, most owners are going to stay stuck behind the chair running their business instead of building their business. This is where you really have to draw the line in the sand, okay? This is where you need to create that crossover. This is your true north. This is your navigation point that you have to be able to start working on your business as a business because it's not going to get any easier at all. Not going to get any easier. So I want you to look at the technician as kind of the crew member, okay? Remember that these people are transactional. And if you are the owner that has the biggest set of books and you fear letting go of your time at the chair or as a provider, you have to find that person that's within your business that you trust enough to be able to download those clients too, so that you can start shifting out of that position. I'm not saying you have to shift out of it 100%, but you have to shift out of it enough that you are spending time putting systems together and actually being the entrepreneur and paying attention to growing your business. Now, the manager would then be a first mate. If you are lucky enough to be able to have a manager, like we are at Intrigue Salon, we have a great operations manager, and then my position is head of human potential. So we're kind of considered, and then we have a director of education. So we're kind of considered the three managers or the first mates in the business. Your life will be so much easier. So you have to be able to grow to a point where you can hire a manager that can take care of the day-to-day things, so you can again focus in on vision. And also, if you love being at the chair, that you still get to do that, that you don't have to give that up completely. Okay. But you got to get that entrepreneur hat on. You got to be the captain of your ship. And if the captain is constantly scrubbing the deck, steering the boat, cooking the meals, navigating the charts, and the boat is not running a business, it's surviving a storm. And that storm is causing you to burn out. The storm is causing you to not see the light at the end of the tunnel, okay? Or the beautiful island destination that you're trying to go towards, right? A healthy business needs all three, right? But it's got to be balanced. And balanced in a way that I'm saying is that, of course, you need more technicians. Of course, you need this particular capacity, because the more that you have, the more that you can grow. But you have to make sure that you've got the business to support it. You can't be hiring a bunch of people if you don't have the business to support it. So that's a simultaneous like marketing approach. You always have to be in recruitment mode for new team and new clients. The manager is then building the systems. And listen, you cannot be a salon today, even with two or three or four people, and not have a robust CRM system or booking system, okay? Salon software system. If you're still trying to do things with Square or, app-based things that maybe when you were smaller, it's time to up level, okay? That is going to start your system building immediately, because now you're going to start getting the reports. Now you're going to be able to see where you're at. Now you're going to see where the holes are, where you're leaking money and where you're not growing, and be able to fix it. And that's when you're going to put that entrepreneur hat on, because that's how you're going to build the future. See, the moment a salon owner shifts from technician thinking to leadership thinking, the business is going to grow. Finally has a chance to be able to grow. Now, we state that just because you're an owner doesn't mean you're a leader. Nobody trained you to be an owner. You just kind of stepped into it. You watched because you worked in a salon, and typically you probably had a bad owner and you were like, I'm not gonna run my business like that, only to find out 5 years into it, you're running the business like that because it's harder than you think. Okay. Ownership and leadership are two very distinct buckets. They are not the same. Ownership is more about the systems and the day-to-day operations of your business. Leadership is managing the people and the growth and the profit. Okay. So leadership training is what's essential for you right now. So here's 5 powerful questions inspired by the E-Myth, right? Okay. The technician question. Are you building a business, or did you just build yourself a more demanding job? Meaning you're wearing all 3 hats and now you're overwhelmed by that. The control question. If you stepped away for 2 weeks, would your business run smoothly, or would everything stop? Jeff and I head out to the Caribbean on our boat every month, every like 5 to 6 weeks. And we're there for 2 weeks, sometimes even a month at a time. And I'm still managing our business from afar. That's why I call myself coach on a boat. And of course, Jeff is too. He's managing some day-to-day things that are showing up as well. But for the most part, we have a team of people that are managing 98% of it while we're not there. Yeah. All right. So here's the first mate question. Do you have a first mate, or are you trying to steer the entire ship yourself? Do you have a salon manager? Do you have somebody that you can count on to help delegate responsibilities? It could be a front desk person at this point in time. Like, unload some of the stuff to the front desk person a little bit. You don't have to call them a manager, but you might need to compensate them appropriately if you're asking them to do additional things, right? Don't get overwhelmed by it. There's so many VA opportunities out there. I work with a VA that she helps me so much. Um, and then, of course, there's companies like Spark that you can hire a VA out of the Philippines for, minimal amounts of money to start helping you. And especially where they help you is in the marketing, the systems and marketing area, which I know a lot of people need help on because marketing is very sophisticated today. It's not just, word of mouth and putting a flyer in the neighborhood, packet of coupon things, right? All right, here's the vision question. When was the last time you spent time thinking about the future of your business instead of just surviving the week? Like we're already in March, you guys. The first quarter is almost over with. And we can all say, oh, well, I'll get on track in second and third quarter. And then of course, fourth quarter always is always the busiest. You have to put a plan together now so that you know where your growth is coming from in second and third quarter. You have to assume that based on what you're already doing, that there is growth on top of that. How are you going to get that growth? If you're a $900,000 salon and you want to get to a million, where is that $100,000 going to come from? It's not random. It's not hope. It is planned, strategic leadership. Okay. And everybody has to be on board in order to make that things happen. All right. And then the final question, the captain question. Are you operating the salon as the hardest working crew member, or are you the captain of your ship? All right. Are you the captain of your ship? Yeah. All right. If today's conversation resonated with you and you're a salon owner trying to navigate leadership, hiring, culture growth, profitability, I'm going to invite you to join me on the SOS Owner Roundtable. It's first one is next week, so it's Wednesday, 10 a.m., the 18th, first and third Wednesdays of the month. And we're going to gather and we're going to talk about a conversation. I'll have a lead topic that we'll bring to the table, but I'll also open it up for other people just to be able to ask questions. This is not designed to necessarily be a training piece for you because I have training elements that are specific to helping you become a better leader. I want you to know that you've got a safe place to come. I want you to know that there's opportunities to be able to tap in to me and other salon owners to be able to get it going. Now, as I build these sessions and they grow, and more owners are on, the more opportunities that we have. But in the beginning, as I'm growing it, the great thing about this, you guys, you'll have access to me even with a small amount of people. So take advantage of this because there's no charge for you guys to show up at these roundtables. So you're listening to the podcast. Next step, I want you to come to the Salon Nurse Solutions virtual roundtables. Okay, first and third Wednesday, 10 a.m. If you're on my email list already, you're going to get a Zoom link. But you could always jump into the Facebook group SOS Leadership Academy, and it'll be live there, and we'll pay attention to what needs to happen. Now, if you want to start really learning to be a great leader so that your business can survive, because I promise you, in the next 3 to 5 years, if you don't step up and be a leader, it is the difference of success and failure. Right now, growth is inconsistent. It's not flat, but you may be growing and the person down the street may not be growing. And the difference is leadership. So join me for the intro to Heart and Edge Leadership. It's March 23rd. You can go to sosheartandedge.com, sosheartandedge.com, and sign up for it. This is a free webinar. It's just an introductory webinar to be able to let you know this is how you can get the education that you're hoping for. Okay. And then we'll share some next steps from there. And each week when I do a podcast, there'll be a different topic that we'll talk about. But I'm going to lead you down this ecosystem because you have to make the commitment to be able to do it. I promise you, it's going to make a world of difference for the success of your business. And I know it's going to be the difference between you feeling burnt out and you feeling inspired by your business and your team and your clients. All right. Okay. Jump on, join me for the roundtables. Jump on for Heart and Edge Leadership. Email me, Bonnie at bonniebonadeo.com. If you have any questions or you want those links directly, happy to assist you. And again, Thanks for joining me. And remember, you guys, you can watch this because I actually have slides built into this. So if you're just listening to me, you're missing out on some of the slides and some of the content that I'm sharing. Jump onto YouTube again, SOS Small Business Success Podcast, uh, and you'll be able to find this as a mini training session for you. All right. 21-minute training session for you every week. All right. Thanks for joining me. Talk to you soon.